Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live edition here on Inside Utica University Football Podcast with myself, Coach Little C. We'll bring on the head coach of Utica University, Coach Blaise Faggiano, in just a moment. We'll get him on screen and talk about a tough game last week against Hobart. We'll talk about their conference opener this week for homecoming, that and much more. If you're following on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on any of the social media platforms, if you have any questions or comments for Coach, I'll try to pull as many over as I can. Coach and I are tied with our picks. He's hanging in there. We got some more games we'll pick tonight, some big games in college football on Saturday, including the nightcap, the whiteout game, Penn State and Oregon. So a lot of games this weekend. We'll get to those at the end, but we'll bring Coach on and talk about the Hobart game and this week's conference opener in the Empire 8. So let's bring Coach on. Let me get us situated, Coach. There he is. What's going on tonight, Coach?
What's going on? I don't even know. Is there any game? What games are on tonight? I don't know what competition.
Well, we got NFL tonight. We got Seattle and Arizona, I believe, is tonight.
All right, but no New York teams.
We do not have any New York team. No Syracuse. None of that tonight. So we're not up against any of that competition here tonight.
All right,
but
look forward to talking ball as always.
Coach, first time, and I hope it's not I hope it's not next week too, but it's the first time I get you after a loss. So it's always tough talking after a loss, but great game, close game. You guys had your opportunities. Let's talk about the Hobart game.
For sure. Good football team. Certainly had a plan to pressure our quarterback and did a great job doing it, right? Sacked us 4 times. But I really liked our resolve. We're before we know it, we give up a big kick return, and their field position was outstanding all day. 2 of their 3 touchdowns were on our side of the 50, inside the 30. One being at the end of the game, and then they had a couple big kick returns where our kickoff team was struggling with our coverage, and they're starting at their 40, their 43-yard line, and then you kind of all of a sudden you look up and we're down 13-0, right? And then that's kind of like what we did to RPI. And I just loved how we responded. Now, we made it hard on ourselves because continuing to struggle a little bit with our field position, our terrible field position, but we had, I'm going to be off, and it was like a 12-play drive, or 8-play drive, going the length of the field to go in halftime up, after a really slow start. And so I really liked our guys' resolve and how we battled. And, again, this game, it's crazy. Like, you look at the stats, and then, unless you were there and watched it, you wonder, how'd they lose this game? How do you hold the offense to 242 yards of offense, right? Our defense played very well, gave us opportunities. Our offense, we just missed it, right? We're up 17-14 with under 3 minutes to go. We need to find a way to win, and you want to call it get out with an ugly loss kind of situation. And then you always put in perspective, like, we're talking about Hobart. I couldn't tell you the last time that they've had a losing record, right? Very good team.
Yep.
I look back at our first 3, non-league opponents, W&J, RPI, and Hobart. Now, as we look back, I know a lot of people looked at that in the offseason like, well, that's a little different, opening up your season, Coach. And
which they're all going to have winning records at the end of the season.
You put words in my mouth. They're all going to have winning records. A good chance they all could get some type of postseason, will be in the running for their conference championship. And then you look at RPI beating Brockport in overtime, right? Yeah. And then U of R, and Coach has done a nice job of roster beating Fisher. So, I got to tell you, like, our coaches, our players, and it's so important to be on the same page. I think in your life, you never really like having to take a hard lesson, and we all took a hard lesson. And if we're going to take it, let's take it now against a good team and our non-conference, so we can really learn from that game to propel us into what is always a tough Empire 8, conference schedule. So, I think there were some things I told the guy, there were some things that occurred in the first couple of games didn't matter because the score was so lopsided that really kind of got magnified, in a closer fought ball game, this past weekend. But, it was tough. It took, it took a little bit to flush that one, just because we know that we had our opportunities, and, just having great conversations with our players, because they all know what's on the line as we work very hard to propel our program. we win the game, we're undefeated, maybe nationally ranked, and
Yep.
all that's great.
Yep.
But as soon as we all say that, that doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter. What matters is that we get better every week, that we do everything we can to put ourselves in contention to win the conference, right? And everything we can to win as many games as we can to try to get to postseason of some sort, right? And so that stuff's all great and all things we aspire to as a young program. But at the end of the day, we needed that, and it was a tough one. And but I can assure you that we've learned from it. And again, credit to Hobart, and they played tough and hung in there. And we're certainly learned from that. We're going to be hungry after that.
Well, Coach, you talked about in a couple of our shows, you talked about the resilience of your team, the leadership, strong leadership from top to bottom, and you get down a couple scores. You put two really good drives together in the second quarter. I think you had a 13-play drive, then you had a long 88-yard drive, and then you come out in the third quarter and you have a 10-play drive, an 80-yard drive. So the resilience of this team where they fell behind, it didn't even seem to phase you guys.
They're a tough group. The hidden yards got us. Like we gave up 117 yards in kick return. We got obviously we've worked on that all week long, right? Then we had a couple errant, like we started a drive at the 4, right? Because we make a poor decision, and then we have a penalty. We started driving the 12, right? Mm-hmm. And like we know, in order to do the things we want to do moving forward, you can't keep doing that that's going to kill you against good opponents. And my college coach said all the time, like, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, you got to play, high level. And, I know that these 3 non-conference games as a group now, as we go into conference play, has gotten us ready for EA play for sure.
So, Coach, I will tell you, I looked at the stats because I was trying to follow you guys to see I wonder how they did. How'd they do? So I'm following the stats, and I'm like, you guys dominated the time of possession. I think you guys were like 33, 34 minutes to maybe 26. Yeah. And I'm like, the stats, I'm like, man, they played well. They played, they played well. I think the only stat. You guys outgained them by quite a bit.
387. Yeah, crazy.
One of the stat lines I saw that, and I think my numbers are right. Third down, you guys were 3 of 13 on third down. So the third downs, it seemed like you guys struggled, but everything else, every stat in the category, you guys dominated the game.
And that's why it was such a tough one, and we've all played this game, coaches and players alike. And, we know what it's like, you win a game, lose a game, and how you feel. And this one that, gonna sat in our bellies for a little bit, and they don't like that feeling, and know that the team is capable of some really good things. And that's why it was tough. It wasn't like, wow, that was one, and it was a great game, but there were so many things we did that helped Hobart's game. And they played pretty mistake-free, besides their penalties, didn't turn the ball over, sacked our quarterback, created some turnovers on their end, did a nice job in their special teams. So, it'll be curious. I think that the tell of the tale will be, when you're looking at, week 8, 9, and 10 at the end of this thing, where everyone's sitting. I think a lot of teams are excited because there's not one team, I don't think, in either conference, in E8 or the Liberty, that's like the team right now. I think, whether that's the Empire or the Liberty, I think those top three teams or 4 teams in each league are all within a score of each other. So I think, there's some excitement to that on things to come.
Coach, talk about some of your guys. Tyler had another good game for you guys, 28 of 42 for 287. He had the 2 scores. He was sacked 4 times this game. Bryce Palmer, your receiving crew was good. I'm calling him IT. I think that's what you were calling him too. Isaiah played well for you guys too. But talk about some of the guys that played well for you.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler played well. If he was on the show, he didn't play well enough. He's very hard on himself. I love him. That's why he's a strong leader. Bryce was just like amazing. 12 catches, amazing. Yeah. I tell you, Antonio Cianfrani had some, like our first touchdown was a 4th and 10. Tough grab over the middle, fights to get in the end zone. So Chin had 2 scores and played really well. Our O-line's battling. We didn't have our starting running back, Aze Frazier. Hopefully we have him back this week. And then, midway into the game there, we lost Janai Strong, who was running really hard. So a couple of injuries at that position. Janai will be out a little bit, but we're hoping to have Aze back this week and certainly have some depth at the running back spot. And then over on defense, Mason Nolan got Empire Rate Defensive Player of the Week, a couple of sacks, played very well. Isaiah Thomas played well. Again, our defense made some plays, to hold the team like Hobart's caliber to 242 of offense is something to really, I know a lot of people, rightfully so, were talking about our offense those first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So definitely some good confidence for our defense to go out and play some good physical football and hold the team. They weren't very good on third down. We really held them on third down as well. I forget what it was, 3 of 12 or 2 of 10 or something. And so definitely building on that. Again, we have a lot of first-time starters on our defense. Our D line continues to play well in front of IT. Jordan Davis, Mason Moranowitz, Mason Muscari, Nick DeForest, and then the young guys come in, and Christian Roan and Austin DeGroat and Jerome Nemhard. And so I think that's really helped us in the run game, is being able to keep the D line fresh and rotate those guys.
So, Coach, now you have the one part of the season's over, which is the non-conference, and now you get into the conference play. So now you start the other part of your season. What's the preparation like now heading into conference play? Different, obviously, the non-conference play, but what goes into that preparation now coming into league play?
Well, I think everyone gets excited. Through the recruiting process, we just talk about, how strong the Empire Rate Conference is. And you look at how we've done in the playoffs over the years. We have a really good playoff record as a conference. Our teams, we beat each other up, but whoever gets in the tournament is going to, win a few rounds and make some noise. And obviously, a couple of years ago, our conference champ won the whole thing. So, the guys are excited. And what's unique coming into this week, is Alfred State is new in the conference.
Yep.
They're scrappy. They're tough. They play with a chip on their shoulder. I like the job Coach Lynn's done there. They've won their conference the last couple of years. They've gone to the NCAA playoffs. Yep. They've played Endicott. They've played Mount Union. And you can see that in how they play. They're pretty confident. So it's the Pioneers versus the Pioneers Saturday at Gaetano. And our guys know the Empire Rate's a great conference. Welcome to Alfred State too. I think that's just good for New York football. I think Buff State should get in there too. Like let's let the Empire Rate grow. Getting non-conference games, as I've told you, is tough. But that'll be a good rival. I think Alfred State, Alfred U down the street from each other. I think that'll be a good rival for New York Division III football. Empire Rate's one of the best conferences in the country. It's a physical conference, so our guys are excited.
Well, you just stole half my notes on Alfred State, so I got to try to look at my other page here. But let's talk. I want to talk, though, about the non-conference schedule. You kind of highlighted and said, those three teams, which I agree, they're all going to have winning records, all really good teams. And now you come into conference play. Are you right about where you guys think you should be coming into conference play?
I mean, I grudgingly will say yeah, because I would have liked for us to be 3-0, but for sure, what I mean, as far as, and so again, sometimes you need that, sometimes you need that, whatever you want to call it, a little wake up call, whatever you want to call it, just to kind of get everyone focused and know that every play in a football game matters. We're certainly riding a nice high those first 2 weeks and things were clicking.
Yep.
And, we like that feeling a lot better, but, we love playing at home. Looking forward to playing at home this week. A couple other special things at the game. It's First Source Federal Credit Union. Their CEO is a Utica alum, John Calabrese, and it's teacher appreciation game. So all teachers out there can come, bring your school ID, can get into the game for free. We do some fun stuff with our guys, with all the First Source families, kids. We do some autographs after the game. But really excited about Eric Call, linebacker. I got to coach Eric for 2 years, was an unbelievable linebacker for us. And what's great, he lives in the Utica area. He originally from Spencer Vannetten area, went to Spencer Vannetten High School out by Elmira, and was a physical therapist who works at the Wynn and loves living in Utica. So I'm really excited for Eric and his family. He'll be getting inducted into the Hall of Fame Friday night. So, a lot of positive things going around, this weekend's game coming up.
And, Coach, you talked about Alfred State. They won the ECFC back-to-back seasons. They've been to the NCAA tournament. I know you mentioned Endicott, who they lost to, but it's a team that's familiar with, tournament play and winning conference championships. And now here they come into the Empire Rate, which I think only makes the conference that much better. getting them into the conference play here with you guys. They're off to a 2-1 start. They beat Hobart College, I know, who struggled for a little while, but then you got Buff State, and then the Anderson University in Indiana. Is that a D2 school?
Listen, I got to tell you, I couldn't even tell you. I watched the game.
I think it's a D. I had to go back and look, and I'm saying
I wasn't sure if they're NAIA maybe. I think they're division. I'm not sure. I have to go back. I'm so focused on us. I told you I
know they've played them the last couple of years, but that's who their loss is to. But they got some talent. They got a quarterback that completes a lot of balls.
They missed a 10-yard field goal. They missed a 10-yard field goal to win that thing. Coaches, I'm sure, as much as upset about that loss as we are with Hobart. That's a game that they certainly had an opportunity to win.
But it seems like, Coach, they like to run the ball. They got two good backs. They got a junior and a senior back that I think one of them's got over 50 carries with 7 touchdowns. But they got a quarterback that completes a lot of balls, and he's a senior quarterback.
I'll tell you, he's done a great job. I think what's challenging with them is they get into every formation with the same personnel. So they'll be in quote unquote 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, and the tight ends are out at receiver, or maybe really even you could say 22 personnel because both backs are out there, both tight ends are out there, and they're in a spread set, and one of the running backs is out as a receiver. So they're doing some great things to spread the field and spread you out and use the whole field, and they do a nice job of that. The running back had a great game. They had a huge win against Buff State for their homecoming. They scored 56 points. So they, again, they're and you can see it on they play. They're a confident football team, and so like you said, it's just good for our conference to have a team that's come in that's won their conference, that has some post. They're used to playing in big games, and it's exciting. Anytime you play someone, this is actually not the first time we played them in a one-off game in 21, and we went to their place, and it was like a last-minute deal. We lost the game, and someone dropped us from the Liberty League. Not gonna say. And Coach Lynn was kind enough. We played him at 4:00 on a Saturday, and it was a good football game. We played at their place, so we played him once before. So it's the guys are amped up, and when you play a New York team, the kids know guys on the team and know each other, and they played against each other in high school. I think that's always a fun piece too.
And Coach, I feel like we talk about this too every week, where we talk about some of the coaches that have been at these programs for a long time and have really built a really good foundation. And you just mentioned Coach Lynn here at Alfred State, but I feel like every week we're talking about the coaches, the coaching in the Empire 8, and even in the games that you guys have played non-conference. I feel like the coaching is just it gets better and better, and it's really good from top to bottom.
I mean, the Division III football in New York State's outstanding. Many of our coaches are products of playing in New York State and playing in this league or either one of the 2 leagues. Again, every week, like Hobart, they did some different stuff against us, right? That they, when we knew it, we did our best to prepare for it. But, that's what's Alfred State going to do, right? We got a funny feeling they're not just going to run the defense that we've seen on film the last few weeks. Yeah. Every team we've played is, doing different things and trying to, cause some confusion. And that just goes to credit to the coaching. We have some great coaches in New York State for sure.
And Coach, I felt like we talked about the Believe Bowl and how hyped up the guys would be for that. Now here you are, homecoming. The guys will be pumped up and hyped up for that. Talk to us about how special the homecoming is, some of the activities going on at the school, for the game. I mean, I know you mentioned teacher appreciation, but how hyped the kids will be for this one?
Homecoming's big. I mean, the tailgate, massive. It starts at 9 a.m. The tailgate will go after the game. They have this great, artisan and farmers market now that kind of runs from the tailgate lot down to the stadium by Casamento Field. They've done that the last couple of years, and that's a lot of fun. They have all types of alumni games, and I'm going to mention them, probably forget some, but I know there's alumni men's, women's lacrosse. So there's alumni games this weekend. So, homecoming, we got great weather. And then, all the fraternities and sororities over the years that I've built relationships with, or they're all in the office today getting their tailgate passes, right? So they know that Coach Faggiano will give them some free 12-man tailgate passes. The hockey team was up getting their passes today. So, the campus will really be buzzing. We had some great award ceremonies today. There was a scholarship luncheon. One of our guys is getting a sportsmanship award tomorrow night. Norman Booth, who's an outstanding linebacker and just a huge leader on campus, was in the school plays, school organizations. And so that, part of not only Eric Call getting in tomorrow, but we'll be able to honor Norman Booth. He's coming back He's working construction management. He's got a job down in Washington, D.C. He's doing really well for himself, coaching football. So, a lot of positives around homecoming at Utica.
Coach, I feel like this year, and I mean, obviously, I know Cortland State with the tradition that they have coming off, 2 years ago, as you mentioned, they won the whole thing. But I feel like for some reason, I feel like this year from top to bottom, I feel like the umpire rate's wide open. I feel like anybody can win it. I think everybody's good.
Again, if you're looking at it and you're a fan, and I get it, I don't talk to my guys about this at all unless they listen to this, right? But they see that Cortland lost to Grove City, right? They see that we lost to Hobart. They see Brockport lost to RPI, and they know that it doesn't seem like there's a team in either league in New York that's dominant, and I think Hobart's playing Ithaca this week coming up, so that'll be a lot of eyes will be on that game because I know Hobart had beat Ithaca last year en route to winning the Liberty League, right? So, certainly the guys, they know that stuff, and they don't talk about it too much, at least not in front of the coaches or at practice. Like, it's really focused on the game plan, our execution of what we're looking to do, making sure we can have the best week of practice. I do have to give a little side note, which is great. We had a great Sunday in Utica, our JV team. We had a huge crowd. They tailgated after the game, played Alfred. It was a great football game. Ended up shutting them out. A lot of fun. All the guys got to play. And so that was just it was a real, positive finish to a tough Saturday. We had a real positive Sunday. And then again, this weekend, I think a lot of parents are coming up for the whole weekend because they've got homecoming Saturday. And then Sunday, we have an away JV game at Hartwick, which is just an hour south. So I think we'll have a lot of our parents coming up for the whole weekend to Utica and come up, have some good Utica food and support their Pioneers.
So, Coach, for this week, what'll be a couple keys for you guys to get away with a homecoming win this week against Alfred?
Yeah, each of the three aspects. Our whole team knows we have to get better at our kickoff and kick return, number one, from a special team standpoint. Defensively, open field tackling is big. All they're doing, they run a million screens and they get their athletes in space. And so we have to be able to open field tackle, and then offensively, I think, again, we have to be balanced. We have to be able to run the football and throw the football. That's something that's been a focus, making sure that whenever we're balanced on offense, that makes our offense that much better. And, so those are some key things, I think, going into the game Saturday.
All right. You ready to pick some teams?
Sure.
You ready to see what we got here? So I told you we're dead even. You and I are dead even so far. So last week I went with my heart and Fordham. Coach Fitz, hats off to him, got his first win, first Patriot League win. I was at the game, great game. They beat Fordham, but there's some big games here, and I'm going to start with the first one. USC at Illinois, and Illinois got throttled, and I did not see that happen. They got throttled last week to Indiana.
Indiana got after them.
Which Signetti
it didn't help they lost their starting safety.
Correct.
But still, I was impressed with how physical Indiana was. I know last week I went with Coach Bielema because I know him personally. I think on this one I'm going to go USC.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to ride with you too. I think I'm going to go with USC. I think USC is a team right now nobody's talking about because they've been playing at 11 o'clock at night. They got a really good quarterback. I think Lincoln Riley, I think they probably go like 10-2. So I'm going to ride with USC in this one too. So we got to disagree on some of these here, but we'll see.
We do. We get one of these.
All right, LSU undefeated against my guy Lane Kiffin. It's undefeated too. Ole Miss has got their backup quarterback in, but the backup's as good as the first stringer, if not better, is what they're saying. Any chance Lane Kiffin gets him at home? This is a tough one.
You know what? I'm going to go with your guy Lane Kiffin.
You're going to go with Lane? Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep riding with him. I'm a big Lane guy, man. So I gotta go with Ole Miss. I'm not sure about LSU only because I think that win against Clemson, which was the first game of the year, Clemson's really struggled. So I don't know if Clemson's just down, but that win.
By the way, that was a great win for Coach Brown.
Great win.
Shout out to him in Syracuse.
All right, here's another big one. Auburn at Texas A&M. A&M is -6.5. Auburn played really well last week. Auburn had a really good shot last week to
Who's
win.
Auburn's lost to?
Auburn got beat last week. Was it to Ole Miss last week?
Okay, yeah.
No, it was to Oklahoma. I'm sorry, Oklahoma, because the quarterback for Oklahoma came from Auburn. So that's their only loss right now is to Oklahoma.
We're gonna go with the original 12th man. We've copied them at Utica with our 12th man. We'll go with the A&M.
Okay. All right. I'm on A&M too, so we're gonna agree on that one. This is my favorite. I'm a Big Ten guy. And I love James Franklin when I know you know who Herb Hand is, the Westmoreland guy. Played for my dad.
Class act.
Yeah. He played for
I
my
see
dad.
him in Hannaford in the summer. It's like we're talking there for 45 minutes. Like he's the best.
So when he was at Penn State, we went down for the spring game and spent some time down there. I got a chance to meet Coach Franklin, and I love him. The knock is just he hasn't been able to win the big game, which is beat Ohio State, beat Michigan, who he doesn't have to play this year. This is one of those games. He's got a huge opportunity, whiteout game in Happy Valley. Oregon, Dan Lanning's done a fantastic job. I don't think anybody's talking about Oregon in the Big Ten because they're talking about Ohio State and Penn State. You think James Franklin gets this one at home?
All right, here again. I think I'm gonna differ on you on this.
All right,
and go against my heart would be Penn State because I'm a Penn State fan. But I'm trying to beat you here. I'm competitive, so I'm gonna go Oregon.
All right, I am gonna go with Penn State. I went back and forth on that one. I did go back and forth. I like Oregon. I love Dan Lanning.
This is more my competitive side than my heart. My heart would go Penn State all day.
And then here's another big game. Alabama's played really well since their loss. They've played really well. This is one, if it was Saban against Kirby Smart, they'd be talking about it. But Georgia at home. Georgia is actually only a 2.5-point favorite at home. So Vegas must know something. I love Kalen DeBoer. I think he's a great coach. Tough spot following Nick Saban. But Alabama on the road, do they get it done and find a way to beat Georgia?
I'm going to go Alabama.
Ooh. All right. We're going to differ. I'm riding with Georgia.
All right.
But I like Kalen DeBoer. I think it's a tough act to follow Nick Saban.
Yeah. He's a heck of a football coach.
He's a great football coach. I wish he would have never left Washington, but I get it. All right, and we got to go Syracuse. Duke, Syracuse. Syracuse -4.5. They did lose their starting quarterback, so we'll see who's behind him. What a great kid, though. What a great start he was off. I think he was leading the country in passing.
He was again having a great year. This is tough. But I'm going Syracuse all the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Qs too, and a lot of people always get on me because I picked Syracuse to go 4-8 before the season started. And everybody was yelling at me. And so, of course, when they won, now that they're 3-1, everybody's saying, you want to go back and change? But I always say this about Syracuse, coach, in the ACC. It's always like the Georgia Techs, the Pitts, the NC States, the Wakes. It's like those middle-of-the-pack teams. You don't know how good they're going to be.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
particularly in this day and age, right?
I definitely didn't have them beating.
They all have their own GMs.
Yep.
And how did the trades go? Right? Like it's a little different, and like it's all – and how they built the team and how it's crazy how they can have success so quickly.
I mean, right? I don't think anybody had him beating Clemson. And I feel bad for Dabo because I'm a Dabo guy. I think he's done a great job there. Yeah. Class act guy. He said he's going to keep coaching whether they get rid of him. Mike Gundy out at Oklahoma State, who was there for a long time.
I never liked that in the middle of the season. I think that's ridiculous. But never a fan of that.
Now all those kids can jump in the transfer portal.
Yeah, never a fan of that. Yeah.
Which is crazy. So, well, at least we got a few games. You like Bama and Oregon, so we defer there. We both like A&M. We both like USC. We both like Ole Miss. So I got a chance to pick, a couple games up on you this week. But we'll see. Coach, I think my son and I are coming out, so we're excited. Be out to watch the game.
Okay, very good. I'll make sure I give you some passes at stop at the will call table.
So hope they'll get a chance to say hi to you and my son's all excited because he's excited to come watch. He loves coming to the games. Was down on the field for Colgate Fordham. It was awesome to be down there. Great atmosphere there for Coach Fitz. And man, he's got a stud receiver. He's got one of the best receivers in the country. But does a great job and great game to watch.
Did I just see he's up for the Campbell Award? Is that
he is?
See that on?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm very happy for Coach Fitz and Coach Tribino, love those guys and, know Coach Rochford well and the whole crew there. And So that was bad. I wasn't surprised at all, I know, I know Coach Lenahan at Fordham, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And I know he's
Yep.
working his butt off, and I got a chance to see him, Friday night, which was good. And now James is married and has a daughter, and so I was able to catch up with that. And it's just crazy that the last couple games where like Colgate's playing Villanova, they're coaching against Nick Woodman, they're playing Lenahan at Fordham. So I know they had a bye this week. Who do they have next?
Colgate you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think Colgate's playing either Penn or Cornell. I think they're playing one of the Ivies.
Oh, I think it's Cornell.
Yeah, I think they're Ivies, and then they get back into conference play. And another one of my favorite coaches to talk to, and I played again. He's a little older than I was Kevin Cahill at Lehigh, who's they won the Patriot League last year. They're ranked again this year, and man, he's done a great job.
Done a great job. Class act, local guy. Remember going to see his dad and recruiting, all the time. So the old Springfield quarterbacks, man, they're tough.
Yeah, he's got a good coaching staff. He's got Coach Hunt, the former Colgate coach, as the OC there, and my defensive coordinator when I was at Fordham, Rich Nagy's his D coordinator there. So he's got two coordinators with a lot of experience. So he's got great staff. So, Coach, I'll see you Saturday. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to say hi to you. Good luck, and we'll do it again next week, and I'll track these picks and see if I can pick up a few games on you for bragging rights at the end of the season.
That sounds good. I appreciate it. Fear the Moose. We'll see you Saturday.
All right, Coach. Thank you. So I had to brag to Coach because I'm the guy that follows college football like crazy, and he's got bigger things to worry about. He's got his own season than turn on and watch college football. But a lot of big games this week in college football. Him and I are dead even. A lot of big games across the board. I'll be following them all. Oregon and Penn State is definitely the game that I'll be tuned into Saturday. And I'm a Big Ten guy, as everybody that follows my shows know that. So I want to make sure I thank Coach Foz for tuning in tonight with me. I want to thank all the viewers out there. If you were following me on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're following me on any of the social media channels, just hit subscribe and help share the good word. I'll let you know when the Mohawk Valley Sports Watch is set to return. I'll be talking to some of the high school coaches as we're already heading into week 4 of high school football, which is scary. We don't want to wish fall away, but high school football is already upon us here in Central New York. So, as I say on the rock pile is where dreams become reality. Have a good evening, everybody.